Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way 5-minute devotion for August 23rd, 2020. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's having a great weekend, and we are going to jump right into it. So, my little guy got a couple of new presents from his Nana because he has the best Nana ever, and they were watching something on TV, and his Nana saw how much he was enjoying it, and he didn't ask for it, and so she surprised him with it. And so he got it and he started playing with it, but then he started playing with it a little bit rough. So me and my wife, called him aside, and we started explaining to him the value of things. And we've had this conversation before. Being an only child, he has been a little bit spoiled by me and my wife. But as he's gotten older, his spoiling has gotten decreased a little bit. But anyway, throughout the years of his young life, we've had to explain, listen, if you're not going to treat your toys the right way, then number one, we're going to start giving some of them away. And number two, the time that you do get things, they're going to become further and further apart. We need you to take value and understand that, this costs money, and mommy and daddy work hard for their money. And, you have to treat things appropriately. So he's gotten that, and over time, the incidences of not treating toys so kindly has certainly decreased, but it still exists. He's 8 and he loves to crash things. So we took time to explain that. But that led me to this verse from Philippians chapter 2, 5-8. And from the Message, they put it this way. And I'll give you the New Living Translation as well. So the Message puts it this way. Think of yourselves the way Christ thought of himself. He had equal status with God, but didn't think so much of himself that he had to cling to the advantages of the status no matter what. Not at all. When the time came, he set aside the privileges of deity and took on the status of a slave to become human. Having become human, he stayed human. It was an incredibly humbling process. He didn't claim special privileges. Instead, he lived a selfless, obedient life and died a selfless, obedient death. And the worst kind of death at that, a crucifixion. Okay? Now, the New Living Translation puts it this way. You must have the same attitude that Christ had. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on the cross. All right, so just a couple of things, and in praying for this, God brought to mind just about a year ago when we were selling our home. Anytime anyone's trying to sell anything, you give a price tag to it. And depending upon how much offers you get, you either adjust your price or you get what you're asking for. And that's really the value of a house. So a couple of years back, or about a decade ago, before we sold our house and we bought our house, we were told that at one point in time before we bought our house, it was valued at, I think, over 400,000, 425, 450, something like that. At the time we were looking at it, we ended up settling on 300,000. So, and then we actually, last year when we sold our house, we had gotten asking value of what we wanted. But value is based upon what somebody will actually do or pay for you for it, for whatever that good or service is. Now, what value do you place upon Christ? And what value did he place upon us? Well, he came down from heaven and gave up all of his riches, all of his divine privileges that he had in heaven. Why? Because he valued us so highly that he was willing to give up his life for that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I think of it in that respect, I'm blown away. I am absolutely blown away to think that the creator of the universe, when you step outside your house at nighttime and you look up into the vast universe, and especially what we know of what exists in the universe, there are billions and trillions of stars and planets and moons. And when you think that the creator of this magnificent creation values us so much to come down from heaven, to give up all of that privilege and all that divine riches in order to sacrifice and hang from a cross that was meant for criminals. And so much so that at that particular time, it was considered the worst possible way to die. That's incredible. And if we start living from that point of view, what God and Jesus gave up for us, I think our whole mindsets will be just totally radically changed. All right, get into this, dive into this today, and have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be back tomorrow. God bless.